T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Live from somewhere deep in the Freedom State of Florida, it's the Let's Be Frank Show with your host, Frank.
Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of our Freedom Stream on Saturday night. I'm glad you guys are joining me today, repping my favorite streamer. That's right, Salty Cracker is my favorite streamer. Besides myself, I guess I can't be too biased. But yeah, hello to all the Salty Army. Hello to the Let's Be Frank community. Great to see all of you guys. I'm happy you guys are here. Hello to the Rumble followers over on Rumble. Thank you for being here as well. I appreciate my Rumble guys and gals who are over supporting on Rumble. And of course, we're over here on Let's Be Frank and on the LBF network. Great to see all of you guys here this evening talking about, the commie, never go full commie, NYC's on the cusp of going full commie. That's right. And President Trump has to step in. He has to issue out a warning to the commie who is out there, an absolute maniac who is wanting to oppress white people, steal white people resources. Man, this sounds like a true racial commie, someone who is willing to go ahead and do whatever it takes in order to pursue the ultimate commie plan, which is absolutely enslave America and bankrupt it. But it's great to see you guys here this evening as we get ready for another Saturday night Freedom Stream. And of course, we bring these to you live 3 times a week, Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm glad to be here with you guys. My name is Frank, and I'm the host of the Freedom Stream. So I'm glad that you guys are joining me this evening. Let's go ahead and get into what we have here. Well, actually, before we do that, just wanted to let you guys know down on the bottom of the hour tonight, we'll actually have a special guest. Katie Zed will be joining us tonight to talk about 2 high-profile cases, the P. Diddy trial that's going on right now in NYC, no doubt. And, of course, the Carmelo Anthony case out in Texas, the black teen who stabbed a white teenager at a track meet. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on tonight. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that down the pipeline. But let's go ahead and dive into what we have here. And, of course, New York City recently just had their primaries, a Democrat primary, which put up Andrew Cuomo and this Zoran guy. This Zoran guy reminds me of an Adam Sandler movie. Which one was it? Don't Mess with a Zoan, I think, or something. Don't Mess with a Zoolander. No, that wasn't it. Anyway, it was like Don't Mess with something. Maybe Dr. Insomnia knows. But anyway, he reminds me of that guy. I gotta look at that. I have to look at that now. Let's see here. Don't mess with Zoan. That's what it is. Don't mess with the Zoan. That's what the name of the movie was, and that's what it reminded me of. And this guy kind of looks like Adam Sandler in this movie. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Maybe this guy is Adam Sandler being a spoof of Adam Sandler in this movie. Let's see here if I can. There we go. Let me bring this up. Oh, let's see. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick because I have to look at this before we get started. Let me pull this up on the screen for us real quick because this guy looks exactly like him. This is the character that Adam Sandler portrays in this movie, Don't Mess with the Zoan, in in early 2000 movie. Yeah, he was a retired Israeli special forces, right? And then we get this guy here who is running for mayor, who's kind of the same name, right? Zoran. Is it coincidence? I don't know, but definitely something to be worth looking at, because I mean, the similarities are striking, I must say. The similarities are striking with this guy. Zoan and Zoran are very, very similar. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the story, because President Trump's already had his DOJ issue a warning to the communist mayor candidate in NYC after he unveils his racist anti-white housing plan. See, so I guess it's okay to be anti-white. That's the only thing you're allowed to be in this nation right now, is anti-white. If you're anti-white, you will have your voice amplified. You could obviously run for office, but it's the only group that's not protected under hate speech law or anything like that. You can sit there and absolutely degrade white people, and that's so wrong, right? All these special privileges for every other race, however, not for the white race. You'll actually get canceled if you try to speak up for the white race. You'll be kicked off social media. You get hit with racial hate speech laws and every other thing they could think of. And it's the one group, of people who don't seem to want to fight back very much. And it's sad to see, especially in NYC. NYC used to be a beautiful city, the crown jewel of the United States, the leader of innovation, art, architecture, culture. I mean, it was the leader in all of these things. The New York City, that's where people wanted to go. That's when you were abroad around the world. What city was most famous city in the United States at the time? It was New York City. Everyone wanted to go to New York City. And now it's nothing like that. It's unrecognizable when you go to NYC. It's no longer the NYC of the past. It's something completely different. It's morphed into something ugly. And it's morphed into something that it doesn't resemble the United States whatsoever. And it's truly, truly sad that we've seen this shift in the United States. And we've seen this shift, especially in one of the greatest cities of our country that we've ever had. And it's so sad. So sad. So here we got this story over here about President Trump's DOJ breaking it down. It says the new face of the Democrat Party may find himself in serious trouble with President Trump's administration should he proceed with an overly racist housing plan in the name of equity. The Gateway Pundit reported Muslim communist New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mandani plans to fund his radical transformation of the city. If he is elected, he will hike property taxes for the richer and whiter neighborhoods. The richer and whiter neighborhoods. Do you know what's ironic about this? These white, rich liberals who live in NYC will flee NYC. They will flee the Big Apple. They'll go to other places. They'll go to New Jersey. They'll go to upstate New York. Maybe they'll go into your red state somewhere else, because they will refuse to have to allow their money to be used to fund any of this stuff. They will push for it. They will absolutely push for it. They will push for laws and everything that will harm white Americans, and then they will run from them and ensure that laws won't impact them whatsoever. And that's how they continue to stay rich and continue to save their money. Unfortunately, the people who are trapped there, the people that may not be able to flee, well, they'll be the next highest tax bracket, and they will utilize their income resources to help fund the DEI initiatives, right? Help fund the illegal immigration that is in NYC, help fund the groups of people who do not want to work and who live off the state and who live off the city and who continues to just drain the resources from the taxpayer, right? This guy is talking about having instituted taxpayer or government grocery or city ran grocery stores. Absolutely insane. If you don't mind waiting line for like 6 hours to get a loaf of bread, sure, go right ahead with your grocery store utopia that's ran by the city. The city can't run the city itself efficiently. You think they're going to be able to run a grocery store? Absolutely insane. I cannot see any city being successful in running a grocery store chain within the city government. That's crazy. These people don't know how to run anything outside of running the country into the ground or running their city into the ground. It's about the only thing that they're able to run and effectively run it into the ground. They run effectively things into the ground, or in this case, right? Run the city into the ground. And NYC has been no stranger to running their own city in the ground. We've seen New York City be very hostile to the actual citizens of its own city. Their own citizens within their city are subject to ongoing crime, dangerous subways, right? There used to be a time when you were able to ride the subway and be safe and not worry about some crackhead lunatic wanting to like choke you out on the subway. There was times when you could actually be on the subway platform and not have to worry about some lunatic coming up behind you and pushing you off into it. It's absolutely crazy that we continue to allow our cities to devolve into the cesspools that they are. And here we are with NYC not being any different, haven't learned anything, has completely forgotten the values of this country, has decided to go ahead and go the other direction and say, hey, yep, we're going to go full retard. We're going to go full commie up in this place. Up in this place, right? Up in here. That's what's happening, right? Hey, Justin Good Earth over on Rumble. Thank you for hanging out over there. Hopefully more people will show up and keep you company over there on Rumble. Don't forget, we are streaming on Rumble. Every stream is mirrored over on Rumble. To my 5 followers over there, thank you for keeping me company over here as well. And so this is what we have. We have a absolute cesspool of a city on the verge of electing its first full-blown communist, open communist, right? They've had communists in the past. They've been soft communists. They've been hidden communists. They've hidden under the face of the Democrat Party. But this guy is full in the open like he's marching in some pride parade, like he is the marshal of the LGBT mentally ill parade heading down 5th Avenue in NYC. This guy is out loud and proud that he's a communist. This is who this guy is. This is what NYC is voting for. This is what the Democrat Party is obviously voting for in the city. Absolutely crazy that you would sit there and vote against your own interests, vote against your own people. Absolutely insane. And this guy came out of nowhere. Kind of reminds me of the Barack Obama ascension, right? Barack Obama, very little known state senator in Illinois, right? And all of a sudden, boom, he burst onto the scene as the senator from Illinois. And then within just a couple of years, he is running for president. This guy has a similar kind of origin story, right? One thing, he's been raised by communists, kind of like Obama. He was born into Sudan, kind of like Obama in Kenya, right? This dude is not even a natural born citizen, and we're electing him to run the largest city in the United States. It's crazy that we would commit ourselves to this type of lunacy, right? I believe that you should be an American citizen, natural born citizen, to hold any office in the United States of America. Natural born here on the soil of the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America. That should be the baseline for being elected to an elected official in the country, is natural born citizen for any office. I don't care if it's the librarian office, if it's the mayor's office, or if it's the pound office. It doesn't matter. You need to be a natural born citizen. And I don't, and that shouldn't be a controversial take. That should not be a controversial take. That should be everyone's take who's in the United States, who's a citizen of this country, who loves this country. That should be our take. That should be the baseline of what we expect for our nation. Natural-born citizens running our country, not foreign-born, not people who have been abroad, born in a foreign nation most of their life before they immigrate to the United States. And they've been here for like 7 years, and they're like, let me go run the largest city in the United States and the largest population center in America. We're going to elect a foreign-born individual? Absolutely crazy. And don't get me wrong, Andrew Cuomo is not any better. Andrew Cuomo, who murdered thousands of senior citizens in the state of New York during 2020 COVID, where he locked them all into their nursing homes, did not allow visitors, did not allow family members to visit them, and kept them in there, did not move anyone into the medical ships that President Trump supplied New York. Instead, he allowed those senior citizens to die inside those nursing homes. So he wasn't any better either. And then Eric Adams is facing all kinds of criminal probes that he's facing. He may be the best out of the three. However, that guy's a soft communist. So we have communist, soft communist, and mass murderer. Those were the options for the Democrat Party. Those were the options for the city. Mass murderer, soft communist, and full communist. I mean, come on. And not only full communist, right? Someone who will want to absolutely obliterate the white population within the New York City district. Hello, Sleeper, joining us over on Rumble. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you guys. Thank you for being over on Rumble. We got 13 watching over there. Fantastic. And so this is what we have going on, right? We have this whole thing with this commie guy who is not only a commie, but he's also a beta male. This guy is not someone that you would aspire to be a leader. He's effeminate, kind of like, Obama. There are a lot of similarities now that it comes to think about it. There are a lot of similarities between Obama and Zoran. Right? A lot of similarities. I may have to do a video about that. may have to do a deep dive on the ascension of these two people together. And they're both Muslim, right? They're both Muslim. Obama's a Muslim. It's okay. You can admit it now, right? U.S. media, you can admit Obama is a Muslim. Everyone that knows, right? If you know, you know. He's also gay. So we know that. Joan Rivers died for that, right? Joan Rivers died for outing the Obamas. They took her out pretty quickly. Poor, rest her soul, Joan Rivers, who was taken out because she's the only one that decided to tell the truth that the Obamas are homos, and those aren't their real kids. And so, I mean, Godspeed to Joan Rivers. She spoke the truth, and she was ended for speaking the truth. But yeah, this guy's a Muslim. Just like Obama. And would it be a stretch? Would it be a stretch for us to even consider that this guy may be gay as well? There is definitely a pattern. There's definitely a pattern here going on with Obama and Zoran. I think it's Zoran, right? Zoran. I feel like every time I say Zoran, I'm thinking of the Power Rangers. Anybody ever watch the Power Rangers, by the way? Has anybody watched the Power Rangers? Do you remember like the guy in the glass tube, the leader of the Power Rangers, Zoran? Was it Zoran? Was that his name? I feel like it was. Anyway, every time I say that this mayor's candidate, that's the thing that pops into my head, along with don't mess with the Zohan. They're the two things that pop in my head every time I say this guy's name. Anyway, so we got this global homo stuff going on right now with this guy. and it's amazing. And I wasn't stretching. I wasn't really stretching when I said this guy's out and proud, like the gay marshal, like the marshal of a gay pride parade, because I believe he might be, right? There's a lot of similarities between these two guys. Anyway, let's finish this story up, because I'm just going to keep going on down rabbit trails with this thing. The policy memo said, stop the squeeze on NYC homeowners. Promises to address the deeply inequitable system, using the full power of the mayor's office to both address the system directly and working with legislators at the state level to win necessary reforms by shifting the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to the more expensive homes in the richer and whiter neighborhoods. If one were to substitute the word whiter for blacker, the response from the left and the media would deservedly be brutal. But in today's Democrat Party, anti-white bigotry is not only tolerated, but it's encouraged. Moreover, the racist policy would fund several key policies of his, such as a $65 million in taxpayer money on gender-affirming care, including for minors. This isn't progressive, it's straight-up communism. Fortunately, the Trump Department of Justice is paying attention and ready to take action with Madami. Follow through, assuming he wins in the general election, which is highly likely. Via conservative activist Benny Johnson, DOJ Assistant Attorney General Harmit Dillon responded to this cruel plan by warning Madami that what he's doing would violate not only federal law, but likely New York law as well. Radical discrimination is illegal in the United States, period, full stop, she said. The illegal discrimination scheme described by Mandani would violate federal constitutional and statutory norms and might even violate New York law, she added. Considering the way the Trump administration has already cracked down on Democrats breaking federal law, one would not be surprised to see Mandani in handcuffs should he attempt to punish white homeowners. If one thought seeing Representative LaMonica McCleaver, Democrat from New Jersey, get arrested, created a scene and national uproar, just imagine the reaction if the mayor of America's most famous city ends up doing the perp walk. Yeah. I would not be sad if this guy ended up doing the perp walk. This is something that we need to see. I mean, dude is a flamer, gay commie in NYC, out loud and proud. Hey, thank you, Terry M, for the super chat over here coming in. $5 says, Frank, you're awesome. Been watching you for years. Keep telling the truth, bro. Hey, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, man. If we get 9 more super chats, we will extend the stream 30 more minutes at the end. So we can go to 8:30 if you guys like. That will be fun. So keep them coming. Appreciate that. So we got this whole dynamic of the Trump administration having to deal with this potential NYC mayor that is a full-blown communist who is hell-bent on terrorizing the white people who live in NYC. It's really sad to see. Again, I will say this. It's sad to see one of the greatest cities that we have in this country. I don't want to see NYC fall. I love the great architecture of NYC. I love everything that goes, that the history behind NYC and everything that goes along with it, right? I mean, it's one of our most important cities in the country. I would hate for it to fall into the hands of a foreign-born person who is no more American than Barack Hussein Obama. I'm just saying. It's absolutely disgusting that we're even here discussing this. Again, I think a hard line, not even a hard line. I think common sense says nobody should be able to run for any public elected office if you're not a natural born citizen. And that's it, man. That's it. And by the way, Florida's closed, man. Florida is closed. I do not want any refugees coming from NYC. The only way you guys are going to win that state back is taking out your own city back. That's the only way it's going to happen. We are getting full here in Florida. Full in Florida. No more. No more. No mas. No mas. That's for your ESAP button for you guys out there. Hey, Terry M with another super chat coming in says, obviously the mayor hasn't dealt with Trump. That's right. He has not dealt with Trump yet. And hopefully Trump will absolutely just put this guy in his place if he wins. If he wins, I'm sure the Trump DOJ is going to be all over it, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. And that should have taken place. Yeah, break out the burqa, says Michael Scott. So, all right, real quick, we're approaching the bottom half of the hour. I want to go ahead and shift topics a little bit because we've been talking hugely about this whole Trump and New York City thing. But we also have two other big stories that a lot of conservative media hasn't really been talking about, and especially the mainstream media. Mainstream media has been keeping away from these two stories. The P. Diddy trial, which the defense just recently rested after this back and forth between the racketeering charges and the human trafficking charges that he has incurred. And of course, the Carmelo Anthony case, which this guy, if you guys remember, he was a black track. There was a track meet in Texas where this black teenager was sitting in a spot that he was not allowed to be in, not because he was black, but because he did not belong there because of the school he was from. A white teenager walked over and says, yo, you can't be sitting there. And the black dude stabbed him to death and then told the police officers he acted in self-defense. After he was arrested, he was granted bond. Very, very suspiciously low bond. It was set for $1 million. Then they allowed it to drop down to $250,000. He was able to raise over $500,000 on Give Send Go. And with that money, they went out and bought a brand new big old SUV, got security team, and also bought or rented a new house. And now he's asking that a public defender represents them because apparently they are cash strapped. And here tonight to talk about all of that with us tonight, it's Katie Zed from the Katie Zed channel. Let me bring her up on the screen. Hello, Katie. It's great to see you tonight.
Hello, your chief crime correspondent for the Let's Be Frank News Network. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad that you're here tonight with us. I haven't had a guest in eons, and it's absolutely awesome to have a friend and also someone who is very entrenched in crime things.
That sounds like I'm out doing crime, Frank. You got to be careful how you word that. I'm not out committing crime, people. I promise. I just pay attention to it. That's all.
You just noticed, right?
Yeah, I just know I'm a great noticer of crime.
So, Katie, give us a little bit of rundown. We'll start with the P. Diddy trial real quick, and then we'll move into the Carmelo Anthony, because I want to talk a little bit more about the Carmelo Anthony case, more so than P. Diddy. But let's go ahead and get the rundown with the whole P. Diddy case.
Well, I think what's happening with the P. Diddy case is most of the crimes that they're trying to convict him of they're not going to be able to. And the crimes that he's guilty of, the statute of limitations has already passed. So they can't try him on these things that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, all these years ago, because the statute of limitations is up. And that's like the really disgusting stuff that he did. So they want to get
baby
him
oil. That's the Diddy parties. Is that what they were called?
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that part. But I think that's what's happening in the Diddy trial. I think it's similar to when O.J. Simpson stole the memorabilia.
Yes.
Where they wanted to get him on something, and they hung him up for as long as they could on that, because they know that he killed Nicole and Ron Goldman. They know that he did that. They couldn't get him on that, so they wanted to get him on something. I think that's what's happening here, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to get him on anything. So
yeah,
we'll see how it plays.
Freak-offs, that's what they're called. Thank you.
I don't want to talk about that part. It's
So
gross.
what's your gut telling you? Which way is this thing going to go? You think he's going to be found not guilty on these things, or do you think they will find him guilty on something and they'll plea him down to where maybe he only time served, and then some
Yeah.
fines?
I think that's what's going to happen. I think they'll find him guilty on some things. If he serves any more time than because he's already been in jail for like what's been like a year. How long ago did we do that show when he got arrested? It's been like a year, right?
I think it was back in like October.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's almost a year.
We'll see. I would love for him to go to jail for many, many years. I think he deserves to be in prison, but I just don't know if that's how the justice system is going to work in this case.
Now,
like I said, we'll see.
Now, I'm surprised, Katie, with this case that more other big names did not fall out of this thing where they got caught up in the web and also would be prosecuted under crimes, or does that all fall under the statute of limitations thing?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. We saw what happened with Epstein.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we heard what happened with Epstein. We haven't seen anything yet.
Well, I mean, we know that there's other people involved in the Epstein thing, and not a peep, nothing's happened to anybody. And I think that there's power involved in this case, just like there was in Epstein. And I think that those powers will have something to say with the way our justice system reacts to this case.
Yeah, because we talked a little bit about that when it initially dropped, and we were following the case. Remember, we were following when Diddy was on the run. He was in the airplane, and they raided his house, and they were inside his house. And
we were on air while he was on the run. If I remember correctly, we were covering it live.
We got the tour of inside of his bedrooms, right? And it was really weird stuff, right? Really, really just bizarre things that normal people would not have in their bedrooms.
Like grown men don't usually have teddy bears and children's toys in their bedrooms. It was very creepy.
Very creepy, especially for someone that doesn't have small children any longer. Yeah. And so seeing all that, I remember us speculating on possible other crimes being associated with that, and none of those things kind of came. And there were videotapes. Remember, there were plenty of videotapes that were classified by the investigating officers, and nothing on those, or as far as what we can tell. And so that's what we're kind of seeing right now with this whole Diddy thing. And it's quite sad that we may never get a full justice and even a revealing of how just corrupt and how far it spreads.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm black-pilled on this sort of thing at this point. Maybe I'm gray-pilled. Maybe I'm not quite black-pilled yet, but I just don't think we're going to see justice in crimes like this where there's so many powerful people involved in it. I just don't ever think that there'll be justice. So,
real quick, do you think the jury will be out long once they do the final rest on the on this, or do you think it will be pretty drawn out?
It's going to go one way or the other. It's going to be an hour or two. They're going to go have lunch and come back right away, or it's going to be days. It's not going to be a medium amount of time.
What's your gut tell you?
I think it's going to be a long time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I'll have to bring you back when we find out the verdict of that case, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But let me recognize this super chat real quick that just came in from I'm Divine Creation. It says, Frank, considering what we know about elections, this is, I guess, to the topic we were talking about right before you came on, Katie said, you can't vote your way out of this kind of takeover. Remember, WWG, 1G, WGA. We must be like Christ and be Christ-like in order to be redeemed as a country. Love one another. Absolutely. Great message there. Yep. I am Divine Creation. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. We're up to 3 super chats. That means we're getting closer to the extending the stream till another 30 minutes. So guys, keep it coming, man. So Katie,
let's go ahead. Say, Frank, when I popped in backstage, the first thing I heard was you calling somebody a gay communist. I'm like, what did I walk in on? What's happening over here? I was laughing so hard backstage. Sorry, just go ahead.
Steven's gets you a good stream tonight.
Yeah.
So let's get into the story I really wanted to talk about with you, which the only reason we brought P. Diddy was because I saw some of the stuff and I'm like, hey, it'd be great if we got a recap on that since the last time you were here. But the other big story that you and I have been kind of following behind the scenes, right? We've been kind of shooting messages back and forth about this case with Carmelo Anthony and Eric Metcalf. And this whole thing, you want to kind of paint this picture real quick? I kind of gave a summary at the very beginning when I was introducing you, but would you like to kind of get into the details a little bit better than I can on it? That's why you're here. You're the expert.
There's a track meet happening in Frisco, I think it was. This is all from my brain, by the way. I have no notes. You said I was going to be very prepared. Not prepared at all. Frisco, Texas. If I get any of the details wrong, you can take me out back and shoot me later. That's fine. But Austin Metcalf and his brother are on one track team, and then Carmelo Anthony's on a different team. And I don't even think he was running that day, to be honest.
He wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he there, and he ends up like sidling up inside of their tent when it starts raining, and some of the other teammates were saying, hey, you can't be here, and there was some sort of kerfuffle happened, and Austin heard what was happening, and from what I understand, just listening to interviews with his friends and family, he was sort of the peacemaker. He tried to, he was a leader and a peacemaker, and he stepped in and said, dude, you got to leave. And Carmelo Anthony said, make me leave. And Austin started to pick up his bag, never touched him from what we know so far, just went to pick up his bag and move it out of their tent. And Austin ended up getting stabbed, and he just bled to death in his twin brother's arms, which I couldn't even imagine. I don't have a twin. I have sisters, though, and I just could not imagine, and brothers, but I couldn't imagine having one of my siblings die in my arms like that. That's got to be devastating. Immediately, he ran away. He went and hid somewhere inside the stadium. When the cops found him, he cried self-defense. He said, yeah, I did it, but it was self-defense. Now, since then, that's initially what we knew. Since then, video has not been released, but it has been released to press, to people of the press to describe what they saw. They can't show the video. There's surveillance video, and there was no altercation at all. There was no, nothing to be, there was no self to be defended because Austin never touched Carmelo. So I think in this case, he's claiming self-defense. I think it's going to be very difficult to prove self-defense since Austin never touched him. Like, you can't claim self-defense if nothing happened. He just asked you to leave, right?
Yeah. And you know what I'm thinking? This is a speculation on my part. I don't know if you've heard anything, but as he was hiding, I wonder if he made a phone call to anybody to maybe get some advice what to say when he was approached by police eventually. Say this, so that way at least,
that would be the smart thing to do. I don't know how smart he is, but
right. Yeah.
Who knows? Right.
And also thinking about this, maybe once the surveillance video was made available to like the press and of course the attorneys, right? Maybe his attorney saw this and said, I don't know if this is going to be a winnable case now. And maybe that's why he is reaching out for a public defender.
That could be. I don't know why he needs a public defender. He got enough in that GoFundMe or Give, Send, Go, I think it was.
Yeah, Give, Send, Go. Yeah, so Give, Send, Go does not take a huge percentage of the money that's raised, right? So you could get almost just almost the entire amount without outside of a service charge, I think, is what they charge you. And it was over $500,000 that he raised. It was like $530,000 that his mom raised. And I always say Carmelo Anthony raised it because he was not the one that started that fundraiser. It was his mom. And based off of that, we know for a fact that they either bought or rented a brand new house in a very well-to-do suburb. They also hired some security personnel. It was on the market.
It was listed at $900,000.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what the rent would be if you were renting it, right? It'd probably be upwards of $3,000 a month.
It might be more than that, probably.
Yeah, that was a very low estimate.
Yeah,
I'm not very good with numbers. And also, they also bought a brand new SUV as well.
Yeah.
And so one of the people in the chat mentioned as well that he was actually suspended from school while he was there at the track meet for bringing a knife to school.
Yeah, you just can't you can't fix stupid, right? If he's not, if he's going if from what I can tell, he's brought up in a household that loved him and cared for him. I saw interviews with his mom and his family,
Yeah.
and he decided that this loving situation that I'm in is not the life for me. I want to be a criminal. And if you want to be a criminal, then you can spend your life in prison. A lot of times I see these cases and I can point fingers at the family and how the person was raised. In this case, I can't do that. It seems like he was raised in a good house. They weren't poor. When he was not suspended from school, he was getting good grades. He had help from his parents. Both parents were in his life, you know. So I don't know what happened with him. He saw the other side. It's probably the influence of all that rap music, huh?
Yeah, it would be I would like to know who his friends were as well.
Yeah.
What his friend group was made up of and what they were involved in. And not only that, the response from the Metcalf's family, especially from the father, was very forgiving.
Oh, yeah.
He really tried to take that, loving approach with him, with Carmelo Anthony, him and his family, right? And I know they kicked him out of the press conference. Do you remember that? He showed up to the press conference where they were going to have.
I don't think he was there to cause trouble at all. He
No,
just
he
wanted
wasn't.
to hear what they had to say.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and tried to offer, based off of how he had already previously had acted and reached out. I think he was there to even, try to love on them as well, because not only one family was impacted, two families were impacted by this.
Yeah.
And what I saw with the district attorney's office, the prosecution really bent over backwards to accommodate a lot of Carmelo Anthony. They allowed him to, obviously, they lowered that bail, that he was able to make bail. And then the school allowed him to walk at graduation.
Yeah. By the way, I don't have a problem with them lowering the bail. I know a lot of people do. I heard you say before I came on that you had a problem with that. Bail is not meant to punish someone. Bail is meant to keep someone there so they're there to stand trial. And I don't think they needed $1 million to keep him there to stand trial. This person has not been convicted of anything yet. Bail is not a punishment. So that's just how I feel about it. That's how it's supposed to work.
Just wanted to thank you, Katie, for clarifying that as well. For people like myself, maybe that did not know. Anyway, because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I pretend I do sometimes. Anyway, super chat in from I Am Divine Creation. She just wanted to clarify what the WWG1 WGA meant. And I thought I knew what it meant, but I didn't want to say what it meant because I felt like I would have missed a word or something. And when it came out right, anyway, where we go one, we go all. So thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Yeah. So how do you think this thing's going to go? You think this is going to be televised? Did you get any information on that? Is it going to be televised?
It will not be televised. This judge is not going to allow cameras inside the court. Boo, right? I would love to sit here and watch it. I would love to call into work, like take a PTO day and sit online with Frank all day and watch the trial. That's what I would like to do.
I would definitely do that with you.
Yeah, absolutely. But it will not be on the internet. It won't be on the Law and Crime channel or Court TV or anything like that, unless something changes. Like they may, as of right now, the judge that it's assigned to has not and says they will not allow cameras in the court. So that's tough because I like to see all of the evidence before I make up my mind. And by the way, if witnesses come forward and say something different, I could change my mind. I've done it before, where I've changed my mind after I start seeing the actual evidence come in. As of right now, I think that the prosecution is not going to have a difficult time. They're not going to have a difficult time proving that he meant to do it, like proving There's words are so hard right now, Frank. Proving intent. Intent is the word I was looking for. Proving intent, and also proving premeditation. Premeditation does not have to be days or weeks in advance. It can be minutes in advance. And
Yeah.
he had the opportunity to walk away, and he did not do that. And the fact that he said, there's witnesses that say that he said, what are you going to do about it, or watch what happens if you kick me out of this tent, things of that nature. That means that he premeditatedly, even if it was just minutes ahead of time, meant to kill him. So
Yeah. And let me ask you this: is there any possible way that the prosecution offers a plea deal and he pleads
Oh, yeah.
out?
Oh, for sure.
Do you think this will happen prior to maybe going to trial? What's your percentage of it actually going to trial? We got the thing.
Probably.
We got the judge set already. We got the grand jury in already on that.
Yeah.
What's the chances of it going to trial in your head? What's percentage wise?
If Carmelo Anthony is smart, he will take a deal, because I really don't see how he doesn't get life in prison for this, at least. He was 17 when it happened, so he won't get the death penalty. But if he wants a chance at parole, he would be smart to take a plea deal. I don't know if he will do that. I don't know if he will listen to the lawyers. He doesn't have a lawyer right now because apparently his lawyer quit, and he needs somebody to represent him. So
yeah, he was an expensive lawyer. I think it was like $3,000 to $5,000 for retainer. No, it was $5,000 to $10,000 for retainer, and then he charged $500 to $700 an hour.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for real. I figured that with such a high profile case like this, again, maybe this is why he decided not to continue with them. But sometimes with high profile cases like this, they'll do a pro bono because it's a high profile case. They get their name out there. It's, they get a chance to be in front of the cameras, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. That's what happened with, I think, Casey Anthony, the lawyer. Jose, can't remember his last name, represented her to get his name out there, and now everybody knows that guy. Who, like, if you want a defense attorney, that's who you get, because he got Casey Anthony off.
Where she had lots of evidence against her.
Oh yeah, she totally murdered her kid.
Absolutely. Your Mr. Zed here says, I predict 20% going to trial, 80% says he takes a deal and gets 40 years.
Yeah. That sounds reasonable. I would think he would get parole after 40, life in prison, but parole after, like a possibility of parole after.
You don't think anything less than 40, maybe like 20, 25?
It could be. It could be. Yeah. Especially since he's a teenager and his little brain is not fully developed yet. So he might get something like 25.
Yeah. If it goes plea deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 If he gets found guilty, I think it's life in prison. No, like that's just it.
With no chance of parole, you think?
No. Yeah. Yeah, you can't just murder somebody. You can't just murder a teenager in the stands of a track meet. You can't do that.
You can't? Is that frowned upon?
Especially, well, and I'm not as familiar with the judicial system in Texas as I am in other states, just because I haven't covered or I haven't followed any big trials in Texas. Like, obviously, I know a lot about Wisconsin because of Kyle Rittenhouse. I know a lot about Minnesota because of the George Floyd, the police officers, Derek Chauvin, and all of that.
Yeah, maybe you'll learn Texas law now.
Yeah, I know a lot about Michigan just because I cover a lot of cases in Michigan and Georgia. But yeah, the Texas, Florida, Texas. I can't think of any big cases that I covered out of Texas. But I know just anecdotally that the Texas judicial system is a lot harsher than other places. So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. So Giant Grasses says 20 plea. So what his prediction is. And might be wrong says, 25 sounds more likely in a deal. You know what we should do? We should do like a Deadpool.
Oh yeah. Okay. Get your bets in.
Yeah.
What did they win?
You get a free stream with us. Maybe we could let you bring it on for like 20 minutes. You can hang out with us.
Yes. Perfect.
We can do a Deadpool. Get a chart. We'll do the plea deals, and then we'll do if trial goes, and this is what might happen.
Yep. Yeah, get it together. I'll definitely do that. I'll come on with anybody who guesses correctly.
That would be a fun thing to do, by the way. Kind of morbidly fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well, I mean,
sad.
what's done is done. We can't bring
No.
we can't bring Austin Metcalf back, so we might as well have fun with it, right?
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. I mean, super serious topics like this. Why
Yeah.
not try to do a bingo?
It's nice to have some levity when you're talking about death.
Yeah, I guess that's how you can rationalize it and deal with it a little better.
Yeah.
Katie, what do you have upcoming? I know you got a few streams you got coming up, don't you?
Yeah, I do booze and body cams every every Wednesday and Friday with my friend and co-host Kfar. So definitely stop by. Those are lighthearted and fun streams. On Sundays, I'm usually a little more serious. I've been recently just covering news of the day just because I don't have time to do big research projects. Plus, people like it when I'm just unprepared and just talk off the cuff. Like when I'm more prepared, people don't watch for some reason. So, I think I'm going to be talking about the Delphi case tomorrow, just because they just released, and just 2 months ago they released, the Richard Allen was found guilty, and they ended up releasing his initial interviews, like his like when the cops first talked to him. So I want to go over that. I've watched bits and pieces of them, but not the whole thing. So I want to watch that live on air and talk about it. So
yeah. I put your link in the channel in the comments there for anybody that's interested in following crime things with Katie Z.
Crime stuff. Yeah. I don't even know if it's not even really true crime anymore. I make fun of people who get caught drunk driving and stuff on my channel.
I actually sent you something just now. Here, we can watch it together.
I saw it. Yeah.
I'm going to actually share it real quick with everybody, because this is something I wanted to do. This is kind of what Katie does.
This is right up my alley.
This is your booze and body cam thing, right?
Yep.
Kind of like this. Let me get the video up real quick. So, all right. So, this is what kind of Katie does on her channel on one of her streams in the week, and it's pretty funny to watch if you guys have never had a chance. I always like watching body cam videos, especially these. So this is a cop sprinting full speed with 30 pounds of gear on, chasing someone who they are in hot pursuit. It's a stolen car pursuit. Here's the car here. The suspect this
cop was obviously on the football team in high school. He was like the star receiver or something.
Yeah, I'm going to put it down here so that way we can get a better view there. So, all right. So this has happened in St. Long Beach, Lakewood. I have no idea where that is. It sounds like maybe California. I don't know. Anyway, so let's go ahead and take a listen, Katie.
Dead end. There you go. Out and running. And the car's still out on. And running. Yep, car's still going, but it's kind of bumped into some gating right.
Bro is booking it, man.
He's a track star right here. This guy's a track star. He is ready to run from the police.
There. Wow, look at this guy go 15 miles an hour.
He was born for this.
I wonder if that's why Carmelo Anthony was on the track team to start with, so he could practice running from the cops. I'm thinking maybe that was it.
Or maybe that's why he was on the track team, because he ran so well from the cops.
Yeah.
So
I love Sky Fox and Attack. He's holding it. I couldn't do that. I'm out of breath just watching. And he's continuing on. Oh my goodness.
Commentary's hilarious.
I love this commentary.
Is
right. I would have done passed out already. I would have done passed out. The cop would have caught me.
Me too. I can't sprint like that. I can sprint like that for like a minute, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta walk a little bit.
They would have to call the ambulance in, because I would be on the ground. I'd be like dead. They'd be like, we didn't even do anything. He just like jumped out of the car. He like fell over.
Her face turned all red, and then her head exploded. I don't know what happened.
A wheelchair, definitely not for him. If that was in the back of that car, I can tell you that. And this is one of the ones. He's running through that neighborhood. LAPD not going to be able to follow with a car.
All right, so it's LA.
It is LA.
Is there rules where they can't follow with cars in LA neighborhoods?
Well, it looked like he went through a gate where I don't know of a rule like that, but I think they just lost him because he ran through a gate. So.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
They would probably have to send somebody around.
If you're watching him run, he's losing steam.
Yeah.
I can hear the helicopter calling out streets. They're going to keep an eye on it. This might turn into something else. And the speeds of this guy. Look at this. Look at my goodness. He's slowing down a little bit. But how long has he been running? Almost 30 seconds, maybe a minute flat out. This guy has got some energy. That is.
I love the commentary.
By the way, you're not getting away from a cop, especially in LA. They are watching you on helicopter. And even if you think you got away, they still got you. There's no reason to put yourself through this.
Yeah.
Just give up. Just give up.
Is for sure. LAPD, though, I hear the ship in my other ear. He's calling out locations and streets. I know there's a black and white might be getting close by. Now my concern is if he tries to get into somebody's home. What? There's an LAPD officer behind him. Oh, my gosh. How far has this guy been?
Get him.
Look at it.
Get him.
Full gear.
Go.
Full gear running.
Yep.
Running. Oh, this is you know what? I think in the end they're just going to call up. His taser's out.
Oh, he has the taser out. This guy over here hears the footsteps. He knows he's about to go down.
Yep.
Taser's out for sure. And he's going to tase him.
Oh,
tase him on the run.
Oh.
Boom. Go right behind a tree. Always behind a tree. There you go. But he's scared. They got him down. I do not think they tased him. But you got this guy on the ground.
2 officers were on him. That's great. I mean, we see on the show that I do on Wednesdays and Fridays, we see officers that would not be able to do that in a million years. We saw one the other day where a guy was pointing a gun at kids, and this giant fat woman police officer couldn't get over a fence, and it wasn't even like a high fence. She couldn't do it. It was crazy. So I'm glad they got some people on, the LAPD that at least have a little bit of athleticism, just a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not fat and could get over a fence. I'm just saying that I'm not trying to be a cop either. So
very true. I think that's the difference. We're not trying to be cops.
My job requires me to sit behind a computer all day. I can handle that.
And laugh at the criminals that do get caught by the cops.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a taste of the body cams or booze and body cams with Katie Zed. So that's a little taste of it. That's what she loves to do on what night again?
On Wednesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
There you go.
Please go subscribe to my channel. I just hit 6,000 subscribers. I'd love to get to 7,000. I always like to, I don't want to set my goal for like 1 million because, but yes. I think I can get to 7.
Yeah, you get 7 million.
Yeah. No, 7,000. Not 7 million.
So
maybe 7 million. We'll see.
So that's the kind of content you guys would enjoy. Please go follow Katie Zed over there on her channel. She does cool streams like this. This is a little taste of it. I'm not even a seasoned commentator on police chases like her and her co-host are on those nights. So go check them out. Much more funny than I can be with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and my co-host used to work in a jail, so he's got a lot of fun inside baseball stories to go along with it. So that's always a good time too.
So, Katie, before you get out of here for the evening, are you doing any upcoming streams tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Delphi case again. I actually covered it already. I actually went to Indiana and walked that trail back. I think it was after Richard Allen was arrested, but before it went to trial, I was up there. And I wanted to get a lay of the land. So I went up there and looked at the trail, looked at the bridge. But now that the trial is over, we have some new information released. I'm going to talk about it again tomorrow.
So, all right. Well, go follow Katie Zed. She has a stream tomorrow night. You can guys check her out there. And then, of course, tune in Wednesday and Friday for her stream on the booze and body cams.
Yes.
So, Katie, thanks for coming in. I gotta shoot a link over on Rumble for you over there. Here's a link for Katie. People were asking for it over on Rumble.
Thanks for having me on. I'm on Rumble too. Just type Katie Zed in the Rumble search. I'll come up, I promise.
Oh, there you go. Or you can visit the YouTube link, and I'm sure she has links there to shoot you to the Rumble too. So either way, Katie, thank you for joining me. And of course, I'll have you back on as these trials wrap up, and you and I will collaborate once again on a news story that has crossover appeal.
We need to collaborate on having dinner together sometime. So
For real.
I know you don't make the plans. I'll talk to your wife, but
Talk
we'll
to my wife.
figure it
I don't
out.
make plans. Wife makes all the plans.
Yeah.
The only plans I got is being in front of the camera at 7 p.m. on Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursdays.
Yes. All right. Thanks for having me, Frank. I'm so happy to see all of you. I'm so happy that you're back, Frank. Your new office looks amazing.
Thank you.
And I'm sure I'll see all of you fine people in the chat.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Katie. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye, guys.
That was Katie Zed, by the way, a great friend of the channel, great personal friend as well. And check out her channel. I gave you guys the links, so check her out. Real cool stuff. She has some cool things on her channel, so I do appreciate that. Also, real quick before we kind of wrap up for the evening, I just wanted to say thank you to Terry M and I Am Divine Creation for the super chat. We didn't quite hit our goal for tonight, but that's okay. We got a super chat starting Monday. We are doing afternoon stream. We're doing 11 a.m. stream on Let's Be Frank and on Rumble. Just a quick news catch of the day. So it won't be a freedom stream, but it will be a stream. We'll tune in to any hearings that are taking place in the Senate or the House, or if there's any breaking news, we'll catch that as well. So if that's something that you guys would like to join, we'll be doing that at 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays on the channel at 11 a.m. And then, of course, the Freedom Stream, it will be 7 p.m. on Saturday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So effectively having 6 streams, right? That's 6 streams, pretty much. I think, yeah, that's 6 streams a week on this channel. If you're also interested in Bible studies, we have those over on Uniquely Us. That's in the description down below. You can check it out. Check out Uniquely Us. I do Bible studies over there Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So you can go from Bible study with me from 10 a.m. and then transition over with me to catching the news at 11 a.m. So some fun stuff. So I hope you guys can make it and we can have a great time on all that stuff. And we'll have Katie Zed back on the channel before we know it, I'm sure. So tune in next time for our next Freedom Stream, which is Tuesday night. But tune in on Monday morning at 11 a.m. and we'll go ahead and cover some news of the day. So with all that said, I absolutely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for making it a fun stream tonight. Thank you to, once again, I am Divine Creation, and of course, Terry M for the super chats tonight. Thank you to all the Rumble viewers, by the way, that we had. I think we topped out at 16 or 17 tonight over there. So fantastic night over on Rumble. Thank you guys so much for being such great community members of the channel. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys real soon. God bless. See you guys Monday, 11 a.m. for the news stream. Tuesday, 7 p.m. for the Freedom Stream. Good night, everyone. Have a great day or night, evening. Depends where you're at. Have a great one, everyone.